In three,
Okay.
2, 1, yo, it's your boy ronnbizzy. Welcome to episode 9 of the Helpdesk podcast. We've got Kathleen Romualdo and my boy Kashif Cornell Warren, aka the SoKlene podcast, aka Chief of Thoughts. What to do, baby?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey. Yo.
Kathleen,
There it
so
is.
clean with the yo-yo-yos. Yeah, so I actually had the pleasure of joining SoKlene podcast last week with Chief of Thoughts, and we talked all things House of Blind Manor and that batter though. That strawberry batter.
I know that's stuck.
Yeah.
It's stuck
That
for real.
strawberry.
I had so much fun, and I figured we had to run it back on my YouTube channel / podcast. And yeah, so here they are. And the crazy thing about the three of us right now, we're all new to podcasting.
Yes. Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
when Kathleen hit me up, I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. It was literally like my second podcast that someone shared on their Instagram, and Kathleen hit me up. She's like, hey, do you want to join my podcast? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, she told me it was about pop culture and basketball. I'm like, sold.
Right.
Hey.
I got
I
you.
mean, I feel like the podcasting world moves fast.
Yeah. Very fast, and it's it accumulates for sure. It's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the theme for today's podcast is actually us being new to podcasting and how to start it. Because there's a lot of people out there with a lot of time at the moment. This whole crazy global pandemic that we're experiencing, this current global climate. Yeah, people just find themselves wanting a creative outlet like the three of us, and they just want to know how to get started podcasting. So yeah, we're going to cover those topics, and hopefully the people, you got the busy bees that are listening will get some value out of this. So Kathleen in particular, oh my goodness, you have the best branding on your YouTube channel and on your Instagram. It's crazy. And then when you do your little clips as well for YouTube, oh man, I need to get on your level. So let's talk about how you got started with
Right.
getting all that set up.
Yes.
Okay, so I always knew I wanted to do YouTube and podcasting simultaneously, and I wanted to join both, but also like it's a niche. Podcasting is definitely a niche, but also like a mixture of niches. And I think we talked about that yet on my podcast, that you can't be categorized.
I'll have that link down below.
Yes. And what was the part of the question again? I feel like
Yeah, so how did you get started with creating the branding around your podcast, as in the actual, like, with
So you're
your,
very very organized with the
your whole layout
the
and everything when it
layout
comes
of it.
to, the little clips that you do, and when you have your vlogs and your makeup tutorials, you've got the intro and everything. How did that start? Did you do it yourself? Did you go on Fiverr? Oh, it's a secret?
It's a secret, but I don't care.
Oh, sorry.
We'll spill the secrets.
Oh, damn.
Okay,
we spill
so-
secrets on my channel,
Let's
bro.
get-
I
yeah, let's get one of
know.
those gems.
Hey. Okay, so as far as the organization and the branding, like there's multiple layers, so I could go on and on.
Yeah.
First, let's start off with YouTube, the intro, Fiverr,
Yeah, 100%.
and wait, what?
100%. Like, Fiverr's an awesome resource. Why not use it?
Right,
100%.
right.
Yeah. Like I use it every week. Not gonna lie.
Mhm.
I use
Yeah.
it with my editing. I use it with my intros. Sometimes I do it on my YouTube channel. YouTube videos, and then I use it on my. I only edit via using Fiverr. People on Fiverr.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Right.
I should link the people on Fiverr. Or not. I don't know.
Maybe you don't necessarily have to, but I think it's enough to say that go on Fiverr. There's definitely people out there. Check out Kathleen's if you want to get some inspiration. So the SoKlene, I have SoKlene podcast and Life with SoKlene. So yeah, I'll have that all linked down below. Definitely get some inspo out of that. Oh, by the way, that's an awesome thing to add an O on the end of things. Inspo, inspiration.
Oh, info.
It's magic.
Info. You know.
Oh my goodness, man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, talk about music. Oh, my boy over here, Chief of Thoughts. He be doing things on his channel though. Look at his
Oh,
background.
man.
You already know that he's in that production life. Talk about
Trying to,
that.
man. Trying to. Oh man, it's I been trying to dive into, like we were talking about before, about having like not being tied down to like one thing. You know, um, I have a lot of interest, and music is definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. And trying to, I'm actually producing for two artists as we speak in the makings. So I'm really excited about that. Always been a fan of music. Always loved music. Um, just really trying to dive into multiple facets of creativity. So yeah, very excited about that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I just want to give a shout out to your shirt right now, platform 9 3/4. Let's go, Harry Potter.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh,
Got some brownie points right there, Ron.
Let's go.
Hey.
Check that mask out, bro. Harry Potter.
Let me see.
alive.
Hey.
What house are you?
Me?
Oh,
Anyone?
ooh. I want to say, honestly, I would say Slytherin.
Hey, damn.
Something about Slytherin.
I'm a Gryffindor through and through.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I ain't
Can
gonna.
you be a mixture?
I don't know if I could. To be honest, someone would probably say I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh dang.
Hey, no disrespect. Cedric Diggory, he was from Hufflepuff.
Right. He was one of them, the very important character. Yeah.
Also very good looking, so we got that in common.
Oh yeah.
Robert
He
Pattinson.
like changed, right?
Robert Pattinson was who played that role.
Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah. Sorcerer's Stone.
That's it. Oh, it's Philosopher's Stone in the rest of the world.
There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, back to podcasting. What did you guys start?
Ooh.
Either
Okay.
whoever wants to answer.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay. I started because I got haters, trust. Okay, two things. Now I'm just
Gotta have 'em.
pumped. All right, so one, I think no. I feel 100% because I've always loved YouTube. And I know like YouTube is totally different than podcasting, but I was like suppressed. I have creative energy and I was brainwashed like from birth that like, oh, you need a regular job, you just need like a secure job, blah blah blah. But I'm like, so I got a secure job, but I'm like, no, I still feel empty, like I don't feel fulfilled, etc. So I talked to a psychic like in 2018 or 17, and she was like, you have a guiding soul. Even though she was just lying and I was egging her on, I was like, oh, well, I want to do YouTube tutorials. And she's like, yeah, you totally should. But why would she sense that from me? And then a lot of people are like, why is the universe calling you to do like podcasting and YouTube? And it's like, whoa, that's crazy because I feel it. And then it's such a natural thing. So now my days are filled with my job and my creative side, like with YouTube and podcasting, and I don't care. I want it to consume my life and I love it. So my thing about podcasting is you have to be ready for it to consume your life. If you're ready, then game on, because you can't be that's another topic. Anywho, so the other number two, I was like, I don't want to. I have a friend, and I don't know.
Plug them.
Here we go. I don't really care. I feel like this dude. Oh my god, I'm so shy, but I don't care. So,
Here we go.
This dude, I feel like we're soulmates, and I don't care.
Hey, man, it's no
I'm
problem
throwing
with
it
that.
out there. Hey, and I don't want to hold it back. Like if I feel like we're soulmates, we're soulmates. But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But he's a little bit harsh. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like he has like negative energy, but we're definitely like
Cruel to be kind. Is it those kinds of vibes?
Ooh,
Is he
perfecto.
very honest?
Yes.
That could be it.
Yeah, and I think I was like in a good mood, but this dude was like in a bad mood, and I was like, again, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like blah blah, let's do whatever, and then he's like, you talk too much.
Oh,
But
Turn that negative to a positive, yo.
I know.
right. So then my feelings were so hurt.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of people say, as you know, Chief of Thoughts, that
Mhm.
I take things so literal. So I was like, dang, like I guess I talk too much, blah
Right,
blah.
right.
And deep in my soul, it's like, whatever, you know what? I'm gonna start a podcast.
Yes,
Oh.
yes,
Oh,
I like
shoot.
that.
Hey.
Welcome to
And then,
podcast life.
and then here I am today.
Hey,
Wow,
that's
see,
good.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that last part right there. I didn't know.
I know,
Yeah, that
I
was
didn't-
impact on your podcasting.
And you know
Yeah, that's where
what?
the energy comes from.
Well,
Mm.
it's now look, right? I feel like
Right?
you're killing it.
Oh shoot!
heck yeah, heck
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
Heck
on a
yeah.
roll for sure. We got all this momentum going.
I know,
Yeah,
and this
for
energy
sure.
flowing.
Hey, I'm gonna teach you
Mhm.
something, Chief of Thought. So in the
Yeah.
Filipino language, Tagalog, that feeling of being giddy that Kathleen was showing, it's called kiligs, K-I-L-I-G-S. Kiligs, yeah.
Kiligs.
It's
Hold on,
getting
let me
all
get
giddy
this.
about that person, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
Kiligs.
I'm like, what?
Oh,
How-
that-
like, do you speak Tagalog?
Not very well. I can do it, but it sounds funny because I've got an Aussie accent.
Oh, you have like the best Aussie accent though.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny when you say that? It's over here because I'm Filipino and I grew up with that kind of environment and like it's very American influenced the Filipino culture. I sound to Australians like I've got an American twang, but then when I go to America or when I speak to Americans such as yourselves, everyone's like, "Oh wow, you sound so Aussie." Like, oh.
wow.
Nah, I was gonna bring that up, that same point, but no, you 100% sound Australian to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you
definitely.
guys. I appreciate that. It's not often someone tells me I sound good or I have a good accent.
No, you 100% have like the ultimate Aussie accent.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
too kind. I'm flattered.
Pretty dope, man. Keep it
Yeah.
up.
Thank
keep
you,
it up,
thank you.
keep it up,
Hey,
keep it
well, that's a
up.
plan, yeah. Let's. I want to take this podcast next level, and I want you guys to be there right next to me.
Hey.
Hey, so
Definitely,
Chief,
man,
how'd you
definitely.
start? Why'd you start? Because
Honestly, I just started. I think out of us three, I'm like really wet behind the ears with this one. I just I've been wanting to start for a long time, and I never really got to it. Chief of Thought Series was kind of supposed to be like a podcast kind of ordeal, but it kind of evolved into something else. So I wanted to kind of have a podcast separately, So that's why I came with the Chief of Thought podcast, and I wanted to kind of just talk to people. There's so many new people out there that's just discovering who they are, what they love to do, the passions. There's so many different minds and how they got to certain points in their lives. It amuses me a lot. And there's so many people that are I should say overlooked. And especially with what they're doing or what they're trying to do, and with the creative process and with the humanitarian aspect too. So I just wanted something to be a place where people could go to talk about, their passions and their missions, and it's exciting. And Kathleen SoKlene podcast, when she came to me, it was like,
yeah,
oh,
Kathleen, you're a real one
sure.
for that.
Oh dang, I know. I move really fast when I know what I want.
Just a
But
pioneer.
like, yeah, but there's a lot of doubt when it comes to that. Like other people doubt you, but like if somebody else is on the same wave, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
For sure.
You
For
gotta,
sure.
you gotta just
For sure.
react on instinct, and you gotta do what you think is right, what you feel is right. And I guess that's sort of what I felt about doing a podcast myself. So I was talking to my friend, just catching up with her. I think we may have touched on this on your podcast, Kathleen. My friend Mel from Canada, shout out to Mel Tubb, Melissa Tubb Photography. Yeah, because I was just talking to her, just asking her about how she went about going from just doing photography as a hobby, and then she turned it into a business. So out in YEG, Edmonton, Canada. Yeah, she's she just turned herself into a photographer, and she was just out here taking photos. She was asking me how to take photos, and now I'm just like, damn, man. Now she's taking it next level. I feel like I'm a bit behind the ball now in terms of my photography skills compared to her, but it's all good. But yeah, I mean, after that, it was just like she told me, this sounds like an interview or like a podcast. You should do a podcast. And like, you know what, Mel? I've always wanted to be like a radio DJ, and I always just wanted to put myself out there and be a personality online. And I like you, Kathleen. I've been told many times that I talk a lot, talk too much, in fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
same
something
here.
we that's uncommon for sure.
Yeah.
But with that, they discover your gift. They're discovering your gift.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
never thought about it that way, but now that, we've got this kind of platform, it's like it makes so much sense to be able to talk so much. And then
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm glad.
The
I
universe
talked
is
too
calling
much.
you to it.
that's it. And I mean, I had to think of a somewhat theme, a broad theme, so I can talk about a lot of things. And that's where the help desk spawned, because I had that IT background. I was always in support. I was like helping people in general, whether it be at the gym, like around the house, whatever it is, helping a person like an old person put their groceries into their car. Like, I always want to help. And so I figured, you know what, let's try and do this on a larger scale. Let's do this through a podcast. Let's talk about people's creativity, their passion, how they go about doing it, and let's try and inspire, motivate, and create here. And so that's how the Help Desk podcast got started.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that,
me
man.
too. No offense, but you are definitely Hufflepuff. When you mentioned like
Damn!
you said, "Oh yeah, I love putting groceries in other people's cars." I was like, Hufflepuff,
What?
Hufflepuff
right
for sure.
there.
I don't even know what a real
I wanna-
Hufflepuff personality is, to be honest.
I know, huh?
I thought they're super nice.
Yeah,
I'm super nice too, though.
I think Gryffindor is like in the middle. I want to change mine to Gryffindor. That's
No, we need them Slytherins in our lives, though.
I know.
yeah. Oh,
Snape
man,
was in
they're
Slytherin.
daring, very daring. Yeah, that's why I'm a Snape fan for sure. Cause he sacrificed and like he did
He was
things that most
wild.
people. Yeah,
I'm a Ron
yeah.
Weasley fan. I'm about that underdog life.
The
Oh,
underdog.
me too. That's us.
Yeah.
That's dope.
The overlooked.
Yeah.
So we have all just started podcasting. What are some tips that you can give to other people that want to start a podcast?
Go ahead, Catherine.
Ooh, so I posted something on my Instagram. Check out the SoKlene_podcast.
Shout out.
And I took a tip from ronnbizzy. Yup. He said, "Oh yeah, definitely, put more thought into your caption." So I poured my heart and soul out, but no, what's that thing like? There's smoke but no cigar, or there's a cigar no whatever. But I gotta keep on doing it. Anywho, I want to read a little bit. There is a lot of planning, coordination, technical difficulties, and money, time and equipment, and last but not least, the content. So I feel like a lot of people only focus on the content, but they don't think about the behind the scenes. And I really feel like you have to have two things. You have to be technically inclined, because even though I don't know how to give permission on Zoom.
We may or may not have done that earlier.
There's like a lot of programs and et cetera, that you have to like learn on the fly. And like for instance, there's Audacity that I like to use in person. And then if I'm doing overseas international collabs, I love to use Zoom. And the scheduling. You have to have a good schedule. For me, I changed it. So when you're doing podcasting, a lot of things change. That's like part of the creative process. So originally I was recording on Wednesday night, 11 p.m. EST. Now I think I'm going to change it to Monday, 7 p.m. EST. I know. It just changes just now.
Hey, it evolves as it goes, That's
like whatever fits. And there's something else that's really, really key that I really... the technical difficulty.
What did you say? I think it was I think you mentioned in the comment about the patience
and the
time.
patience, and it takes a lot of time, and in the editing, if you want to be you have to be very involved, and the work. Oh yeah, this is the work. So people, automatically just think about the content and think it's just like a fun, like on the fly kind of thing. If you're coordinating with multiple people, and especially like people all over the world, if you really want to take it to the next level, when you're starting off, I feel like I'm a regular chick too. Right. And you have to coordinate with people with different time zones. So we have to consider that. So if you're living in your own small bubble, you can't be like, "Oh, I'm not feeling it today."
Right.
Mhm.
You got to kind of like sacrifice and you know, and for the group, sometimes, and kind of it's hard to find that though. Like I said, that's challenging. That's a big issue and part of managing. So that's
And scheduling.
kudos. Scheduling, yeah.
Yeah.
That's work right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, yeah, it's a good thing that you pointed out that about scheduling and working around other people's schedule. It's because, well, right now I'm fun employed, and hopefully after today I won't be. But
Hey.
Right.
Yeah,
We
so-
talked about that too.
yeah, we can talk about that. Like it's the time for me right now is basically 10:30 a.m. and had I been in a regular 9 to 5 job, I would not have been available right now. So my only other
Right.
time available would have been late at night, and that would have been early morning for you. And so I don't even know if you'd be able to make that podcast right now. So I'd probably
I
have to wait till the
would've.
weekend to speak to you. So that would limit my time. So right now I'm
Right.
taking full advantage of the copious amount of time that I've got.
Yes. Oh yeah. Turn out what's that impression? Turn grapes into wine, or
Oh yeah.
what was that?
Turn lemon into lemonade.
Yeah, that one for sure.
That's it. Yeah, I'm definitely turning lemon into lemonade with a dash of vodka,
Oh, that vodka UD UV.
UV.
Shout out to vodka UD.
Right. Vodka UV. What?
And what about
UV.
you, Chief of Thoughts? What are some tips that you can give some people who are just starting out or wanting to start their own podcast? Because people are hitting me up now, and I'm only 8 episodes in. Well, 8 as of this weekend, and a lot of
Right.
people are talking to me, and I'm just like, what, just do it.
Right.
Nike.
That's
just do
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really
Hey.
cool. I would say like definitely communication is definitely key. Starting off, and you want to be kind of on like timing with the
Guest.
scheduling, like you were saying, the guests. No planning is crucial. I don't you two know that for sure, because that's very crucial in the podcasting and
Group
just,
chats are key.
yeah, just like exactly. And I think just being yourself is crucial. Not looking at other people and what they're doing and trying to copy and mimic. It's
Or
like,
compare.
compare. Yes, exactly. Like you want that kind of like a guide a little bit. You know what I mean? But you want it to be yourself and be creative and just daring. Trying new things, and that's one of my biggest advice I would give out right there. Just be yourself and be creative.
Yeah, and for sure. And I mean, it's been a common theme with my podcast. It's don't let the hardware consume you. Don't think that you need to have the latest and greatest to get started. You can use your phone for one to get started. And that goes for anything around creating content. For vlogs, I used my mobile phone the other day to create a vlog. I know that I was saying, oh man, I want a new camera so that I can get that bokeh, that blurry
Right,
background, and just like, I want to upgrade my mic to a wireless solution so that I don't have this and that, so it's not cumbersome. But look, if you really want to do something, just do it. Don't limit yourself to doing something because you don't have X, Y, and Z, microphone, camera. I mean, this is
Right.
stuff that you can build up as you go along. Like, you know what? You might have all the gear and then do like a couple episodes of your podcast, your vlog, YouTube tutorial, whatever it is, and then you just might decide this is for you. You don't like it, and then you invested
Right.
all this time and money into it. So
Yeah.
use what you've got. I mean, if you have the equipment or the funds to back it, then sure, go ahead, go nuts, go
Right.
crazy, buy whatever you want, buy whatever you need. But again, like Kathleen mentioned earlier as well, there's you have to actually think about what you're doing and plan ahead, because I mean, for me, my planning only goes as far as a few dot points about what I want to talk about and who I want to talk to on what day. But I can see that Kathleen's gone next level, and you too, Chief of Thoughts, where you've got like clips and then you've got your own Instagram for your podcast. Like for me, I'm
Right.
just pumping stuff out on ronnbizzy, but really I should be creating a Helpdesk Instagram, or I feel like I should be creating it just so I can focus all my time and energy for creating separate content on that. But yeah, for sure. And just talk about something you're passionate about too. Yeah, that's how you get started.
Yeah.
Be passionate about something.
Got to. Otherwise, not
Yeah.
authentic. You gotta want
That's
to be
it.
authentic, and People could
Yeah.
sniff that out for sure.
100%. And I mean, your energy is different when you're really into something. So, like when we're talking about basketball, man, you can't get me shut
Yeah.
up.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
Let's
Don't even get it started.
Let's not get yeah.
That's gonna be half the podcast right there.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
We should have, yeah.
But so again, with the theme of getting started, what are some tips that you guys can give? I know I touched on a few, but I want to hear what you guys think.
You're gonna have to learn along the way. And dang, you mentioned a point. Oh yeah, with the niches thing. You mentioned that people will like, so the authenticity part, like people will like you for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have a niche or not. So keep that in mind too.
That personality for sure. You know, that originality that you have from yourself. And just being positive. I definitely like
no drama.
No drama. Like I think the false assumption that you don't want to do something is fear. You know, like fear. A lot of people won't admit to it, or they may not even notice it. But like fear is huge, and it's weird because fear is false. It's just, you know, it hasn't happened yet. It's just a thought, and you're your worst enemy. You know, I'm afraid people won't like me. I'm afraid this, like
judgment. Yeah,
judgment. Yeah, you don't know this. It hasn't happened yet. So don't. I would say don't be fearful, be confident, and like just be daring. You know, don't no negativity.
Do you know?
I want to add one. Wait, what?
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna add one horror story. So I was at Best Buy. This is not my horror story. And I was gonna buy a new camera. Shout outs to my new camera.
Hey, we'll talk about that in a second.
What? Oh wow, twins.
Let's get it. Cheers.
Hey, cheers. Okay. So I'm buying this new camera, and I asked the Best Buy dude to like kind of assist me because they needed him like to open the box, and I was like, comparing like the cameras, and he's like, oh, what are you doing it for? Using it for? I'm like, well, for vlogging. And then I said, well, I do vlogging and I have a podcast. And then he told me his podcast experience. And he said like the scheduling really was the death of their podcast. And
oh wow.
It's really sad. Like they had 4 people. So make sure the people that you like collab with, and you could find those people like as you go. So just start. And the 4 people, they collab together, and they always sometimes they didn't feel it, they weren't feeling it, or like they didn't make it, or just scheduling conflict, and then their podcast died. And I feel like that's a little bit of drama. And I'm so, I don't know, lucky.
What was that story you were talking about, Kathleen, about those two, like the 2 ladies that had a podcast, and someone like...
yeah, that's a real podcast. So it's called Call Her Daddy, and these 2 best friends. Yeah, y'all don't listen to Call Her Daddy? Oh my gosh, they're so lit. So, yeah, they're 2 best friends in New York or whatever. They randomly met, and then they like connected really fast, and they got into the business deals, and one wanted to be paid more. She wanted to be paid industry standard, and then the other one took the deal behind her back, supposedly, or something like that. And then they ended up splitting ways. Yeah, and then they're doing it by themselves. One of the chicks doing it by herself now, and then but she got interviews with Miley Cyrus. Oh wow! Like, yeah, and then the other chick just started her own podcast, and she has her own company now, media company. So,
well. I actually want to go back to what Kashif was saying about fear. You know what's on the other side of fear? Greatness.
Ooh.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And so...
dropping the gems.
Yeah, so don't even worry about what other people think, because at the end of the day, as long as you're happy, that's all that really matters. But at the same time, when someone gives you like some criticism, just build off of that, right? Because it'll help you to improve what you're trying to do. It'll help you to perfect your craft or get it to a high standard. So don't worry so much about all this negativity. But at the same time, with what Kathleen was saying about drama, there's a place for drama, and that's for vlogs.
Hey.
Because I'm not even gonna lie, every time I post up something like, I remember one of my old vlogs, it was, oh my gosh, I lost my drone or something like that. That had more views than all my other videos, you know, because they want to see something bad happen to you, and you can use that as clickbait. And you know, no one likes clickbait, but clickbait's been around before it was even called clickbait. The news do it all the time, right?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
So
You gotta reinvent it.
just as long as you're keeping them entertained, right? Just play with it, you know. Don't think, oh yeah, this is a clickbait title, etc. No, it's just something to try and capture or hook your audience, you know.
Right, cause a lot of times people don't know like what they want to see, you know, until they actually see it. So like you were saying, the clickbait is like just a way of showing like this is gonna be good. Like just check it out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for real. And some other tips. So I can see in your background, Chief of Thoughts, that you've got the what is that? The M50 Canon.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, Canon.
I see you, bro. I know. And so
That's dope.
when I went to grab some water, I could overhear you guys on my wireless headphones talking about using your camera as a webcam. I don't specifically have the tutorial for Canon, but I can walk you through how to do that. It's super easy. It's pretty much download the software, install it, connect your camera to your computer, and then it uses your camera as a webcam. It's seriously that easy. And I'd be more than happy to teach you how to do that over Zoom.
Yes.
And you should
do it. I'm down.
Yeah, and Kathleen, you should be able to do the same thing. Because, I don't know, man, I just like having the best, you know, this contradicts to what I was saying earlier. I'll just use whatever you got. But for me, I like to have the best that I can that's available to me. So even if I wasn't going to be using my webcam, what I'd actually be using is my phone. So there's software that you can use that can use your phone either wirelessly or through its USB cable to your computer to use it as a webcam. So there's that. And
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting a podcast, the most important thing is the sound. All three of us have
audio.
Yeah, have a separate mic to whatever we're using to record the video. So if you think about it, if you were listening to the radio and you heard static or it was just noisy in the background, or the person just overall didn't sound good, or whatever you listened to didn't sound good, you'd switch off right away. You'd go to the next channel. So audio is the most important thing, even though I'm talking about video quality right now, because mine only goes to YouTube right now. I actually wanted to speak to you, Kathleen, because I know that you've got it on Anchor, and I just want to figure out how to set that up because I've just haven't done that. But yeah, so that's my main tip right there. Just if you're going to upgrade anything, the first thing I suggest or recommend you do is use your microphone, update your microphone. And really think about how you're recording your podcast as well. So I think, Kathleen, you're using Zoom to record it?
Yeah,
Kashif,
for the most part.
Yeah, and Kashif, how are you doing yours?
Yeah, I'm using there's a separate camera. Yeah, it's called Zio. I can't pronounce it, but it's like Zio known camera. It's like a gaming camera. I'm saying that wrong.
No, that's all right. For me, I was telling the both of you earlier that I like to record it through Zoom and through OBS, just so that I've got a backup. Because
backup on a backup.
Yeah, and always
planning
test.
ahead.
Yeah, that's it. And
there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So a main tip. So Kathleen, she can attest to that, as you can tell by her reaction. Is hello, Kathleen.
Yeah, I know.
Shouts to Kathleen's. Oh no!
He's chilling. Don't worry.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to test. You want to test your audio. I've unfortunately had a situation where I was recording my guest's audio twice, which caused it to sound really, really bad. And I thought when I tested it, it was good, but I didn't listen to it enough. So yeah, always do multiple tests and make sure that you've got it on point, because the worst thing is doing a hour recording and the audio sounding bad.
Oh, yes. I gotta tell you guys a story.
Oh, please.
Real quick. Oh my goodness. So like I said, I'm kind of wet behind the ears with the podcasting, right? Okay. Now, that's not to say that I had a lot of trials. My very first attempt at doing a broadcast, it was with a music artist, and she was across the seas in London, and great person, great individual, and a great singer. We had this great conversation for it was about an hour and a half, right? And it was going really good. I'm excited. The energy's there. I click off of and this is my first time using Zoom, by the way, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, oh, this is great. You know, I click off, and she clicks off, and I try to go to and I was recording it on my camera at the time, my phone. You know, I go back, it's not there.
I'm gonna cry.
The video's there, but the sound is gone. I mean, there's no sound at all. It recorded the video for an hour and a half, and there's no sound whatsoever. I was honestly kind of devastated. I was like, no way. So we rescheduled for another one.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, great. No sound, but the video was there again. An hour and like 20 minutes. Second time. You know, I'm like, what is going on here? What is wrong? I finally figured out what was going on. I didn't press like a setting on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. So we're on attempt number 3 coming soon. So that's gonna be
fingers crossed. Hey, do that test.
Hey, that test is key.
That test is so key. If I would have tested, it would have been all good, you know. So
Kashif, I'm gonna have to talk you through how to use OBS, man, because there's some effects that you can add to your mic as well. So it kind of so you can compress it, and it just sounds that little bit extra clean. So
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
for sure.
I have the app on my my laptop, the OBS.
Oh yeah, man. Well, yeah. Hey, that's just my suggestion. You don't have to do it, of course. If you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Yeah. So Kathleen, go ahead with your story.
Oh
dang! I already told my story a little bit early, but I have so many trial and error stories. I have a lot of scheduling drama, a lot of sound drama. Oh yeah, my technical difficulty drama. Okay, so.
Or around testing, I think we're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I started getting into testing because I like to collaborate with people via Zoom, and a lot of people, not a lot, some people, their internet quality isn't like up to par because sometimes it's like lagging or whatever. So we're recording, and it just sounds like an awkward freaking recording, but it's the internet.
Yeah, right. And sometimes you can only control the controllable, right? You can only make sure everything on your end is as good as possible. You can't control what mine's gonna sound like, what Kashif's is gonna sound like. So I think just acknowledging that as well. But that's the way it is right now, especially if we're gonna record over Zoom or Skype or whatever it is that you're trying to use. There is gonna be some drama, so just be as prepared as possible on your end, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. So with that, if I sense like I talk about how important, I don't care about the talking points because the talking points will always be there, but I talk more about the sound quality and all that stuff. And if I feel like there's like a gap there, I will try to do it in person.
Yeah, for sure.
With the person, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's the little things that definitely count for sure, and that's that planning you were talking about, prepping, because a lot of those things you run into and you're like, I never would have thought that this would be an issue,
Yeah.
So,
hey, and so what have you learned about podcasting so far, on your journey of podcasting? What have you learned?
Go ahead, Captain.
A lot. Oh my gosh. It's an amazing experience because it depends on like if you want podcasting to consume your life. Like I'm at work and I don't really care like if my work listens to this, but I am consumed by my podcast. I am thinking about my podcast at work. I am like editing my podcast at work. Like you just have to come to that kind of acceptance. Some people don't like it when certain stuff overlaps in their life. Like I realized with me that I like to work a lot and I like to have a flexible schedule. I don't like working set hours because I'm just not like
that type of person.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it, but and then you realize how fast you could learn as far as like technology and everything. Like I really thought it was about the content as well, and I was really nervous about like what other people think or whatever. But then I want to really focus on the technical and audio quality that goes into podcasting. You'll learn a lot. I don't know if I should teach a class. Like, that's a joke.
You're
that
so
can be
right,
part
though.
on your YouTube channel, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I did announce that I might do like a behind the scenes podcast a day, like my podcast or whatever.
Yeah, well, because it can be as simple as, look, you can just use your phone and record, or just hit record, but like there's a lot that goes into it that people don't know about. And I mean, especially if you're going to be cutting up clips, uploading it here, uploading it there, trying to put an overlay and get a little soundbite out of it. There's a lot of work, and that's what Kathleen means by letting it. You've got to let it consume you, or consume your life, or whatever it is that she said. So yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Chief, what about you, bro?
Yeah, like you can't, like Kathleen was saying, you know, you can't nitpick, you know, what you want to do, and you got to be in. And at times it's going to be kind of like overlapping, like you were saying, and you know, it's a lifestyle. That's why I think when people say lifestyle, it's kind of what's that word? It's not used correctly. It's really like a lifestyle. You got to be. It has to be like a part of your life. You know.
Yeah.
You got to kind of you know, have it where you can do normal things like on a daily basis, but also create and grow in what you love to do in your podcast. So it's challenging, but if you have a passion for it,
it's worth
it's
it.
all worth it. Yeah, all
Yeah.
worth it. So
I mean, for me, I think what I've learned is that although we talk about planning and trying to organize everything, not everything goes to plan.
Right.
I've got these talking points, but I can just go on many of a tangent.
Oh yeah.
You know-
That's the beautiful part.
Yeah, and that's just it. Just let it happen naturally. So yes, the talking points will always be there, as Kathleen mentioned, but just let the conversation steer itself. And if it goes a certain direction and you're talking a lot about it, you sound very passionate about it, enthusiastic about it, go ahead. You know, it's
Right.
okay if you don't hit every topic. That only means that you can get your guest or whoever it is on your podcast again, and you can talk about it then.
right, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure. And look, podcasting is it's fun to me. I mean, I talk about
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's just a creative outlet for me, and I love to talk. And so this is just me trying to get that energy out into the world on the line.
Yes. Yes. That's the way to
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the way to do it.
And I get to meet lovely people such as the two of you.
Oh,
Hey.
And we can
I
also
appreciate
talk
that.
about my favorite, and I'm sure for the both of you too, basketball. Or
Yes.
basketball, as an American would say it.
Basketball.
I mean, so the topic basketball is my favorite sport.
Hey.
You know, what was that, Bow
We're
Wow?
bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bow Wow right
Yeah.
there. And,
Yeah, a
Jermaine
throwback.
Dupri.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. JD, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans hiring Stan Van Gundy as the new head coach. How do you guys
It's
feel
over.
about that?
It's over
Yeah? Over
I'm
in
not
a good
familiar
way
with
or
him.
a bad way?
in a good way.
Oh. Here we go. Let's talk about that.
yeah.
Oh, but before you start though,
like-
so Kathleen, Stan Van Gundy, he was previously the coach for the Orlando Magic when Dwight Howard was dominating, and they made it to the NBA Finals against, I believe it was the Lakers. And
Yeah.
that was Stan. And also, he was the coach of the Miami Heat when they had Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade.
Wade.
But he was let go the year they won the championship, and Pat Riley took over. So that's a little
And
bit
he
of
had to-
history around Stan.
Oh, okay. So he's the fire to the flame.
Yeah.
Well,
He has a lot of stuff under his belt for sure.
yeah.
He has an impressive resume.
So go ahead, Chief. What do you think? It's over?
Oh yeah, I mean, with that, like with the knowledge that he has, the history, and him dealing with so many different types of stars and young players too, and the Pelicans needed that. Like they have a young team and uprising stars on that team, and they need leadership, which they don't quite have too much in players. So if they don't have it in players, they got to compensate it with a coach that's a leader, and that's him for sure. You know, hands down. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's why I'm kind of hoping for that happens.
For me, I like Stan Van Gundy, but at the same time, you see all these new school coaches coming in, or newer or younger in that aspect, because someone like Steve Kerr, who comes into the Golden State Warriors, changes their whole system up, and they win that first year that he comes on board.
Right.
Albeit Mike Jackson was able to build that team up. He wasn't able to get them over the line, which is what Steve Kerr did. You got Nick Nurse with the Toronto Raptors. Again, he's one of those new school coaches. Different system, different train of thought. And my fear or worry is that with Stan, he might be stuck in his old ways. However, he did surround Dwight Howard with shooters back in Orlando, which enabled them, which enabled Dwight to be the beast that he was. So they took advantage of what he was able to do, and he taught Dwight how to create plays or how to pass. And that's not simple for a big man sometimes. But another thing that I worry about is what his plans are for Lonzo Ball, because as you two know, I'm a big fan of Lonzo Ball, and and they're stacked on guards right now. They've got Drew Holiday, they've got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and they've got my boy Lonzo Ball.
I think that's a tough one, because I think they're gonna bring Drew. I want to say from the bench, but I don't know. They should have him there. They should bring Alexander from the bench.
That's right.
Know?
So the way I'd play it, because Drew Holiday is an absolute beast as well. He's actually very underrated. He should be an all-star. He's playing at an all-star caliber. And yeah, it is. But have Lonzo run the point, and Drew Holiday can go 1/2, so he's a combo guard. And then, exactly like you said, get Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench. Because they also have Josh Hart, who can also play the point, but I'd rather have him.
He's a two-way,
I'd rather have him at the 2 or the 3. But I know, Kathleen, what do you think currently about Zion Williamson? What do you think about him?
I think he's a great talent, and I don't know, I can't wait for next season.
I think
ahead, Ron.
I just feel it's similar to Anthony Davis, where they had a lot of worries about his health was questionable, like whether the longevity of his career would last, because he's a big boy, and he's getting up there. Like he's jumping, he's dunking, and I don't know how much he's like how long his body can take all that impact, because that's a lot of weight coming down on your knees.
Like 280.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh dang.
At 6'6".
He's heavy. 6'6".
Nuts.
And also, I don't know if you guys saw it, but in college he ripped right through his basketball shoe.
No, I didn't see that.
Dang.
Right
Fun
through
fact
it.
of the day.
Yeah, so he's an absolute monster. And I think him being paired up with Lonzo Ball is just it's a match made in heaven, just because Lonzo's able to pass and Zion can catch it anywhere within the arena.
Right. It's like and he loves to pass. He's okay with his role. Like he knows he's a passer, and he's a great shooter now. He didn't have a good shot, like that good of a shot before, but with training and practice, like he became a pretty good
You can
shooter.
learn how to shoot. So another fun fact, before Jason Kidd was a champion, and in his early days, they used to call him Asen Kid because he didn't have a J. He couldn't shoot.
Oh.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Got him, bro. Got his ass.
That changed. That changed though.
But look at his career. So what he was able to do with the New Jersey Nets, and then eventually winning a title with the Dallas Mavericks. So that's a similar player to what Lonzo Ball is. And another coaching situation. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Isn't he Jason Kidd a coach? A head coach now?
No, he's an assistant coach for the LA Lakers at the moment. I kind of wanted him to be the coach for the Pelicans, because then he can kind of mentor Lonzo, and then he's got that point guard mentality. And in my opinion, point guards make the best coaches. Right.
They got that intelligence of like surveying the, they know.
They see everything that's going down. Speaking of another point guard that is a head coach, Steve Nash for the New Jersey Nets.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. That was a controversy.
Well,
What do you think about this, you guys? What do you guys think?
Okay, so I know Stephen A. Smith likes to talk about how black coaches aren't getting that kind of opportunity. I don't want to get into that whole racial debate, but I can see where it's coming from. But I don't think it's unwarranted that Steve Nash got this job because he's a back-to-back MVP.
Yeah.
He is a future Hall of Famer,
Oh,
100%.
for sure. First
And
ballot, for sure.
And so, look, he may not have any coaching experience, but he's been, I think he was with the Golden State, and he was there as a consultant to players like Steph, KD. And so he knows what it takes to build a championship, albeit he never won one. He definitely knows what it takes to do it. But
He definitely does.
where
Yeah.
I have a problem is him hiring Amari Stoudemire as his assistant coach. I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah.
I missed that detail.
Yeah. He hired Amari Stoudemire as his running man, as his assistant coach. I don't know what kind of background he has, because I know up until maybe last year, or maybe even this year, he was playing overseas in Israel. So, yeah, I don't. Maybe it's because maybe they want to run a pick and roll. Like they just want to keep running the pick and roll with Kyrie and KD. That would be pretty unstoppable. But I don't know.
Oh yeah, that'll be pretty bad. And then he's probably gonna try to get KD to go big a little bit, but he knows how to go big. You know, that's interesting. That is really interesting. And you know what too? The chemistry of the team, that'll make the chemistry in the locker room great. You know, with Stoudemire and Nash together. I think that could be part of the strategy as well too.
I like the strategy behind like basketball and everything. You could release that in real life, y'all.
Oh yeah, right, for sure.
When everyone's playing checkers, you need to be playing chess.
Hey,
I'm gonna get a shirt saying that for sure.
I like that.
But yeah, and Steve Nash was saying they're a win now team, and I think that definitely you should not sleep on the Brooklyn Nets because they're actually pretty stacked. Think about this: they made it to the playoffs back to back without their star players, or well, I mean they had D'Lo before, and he was good. He was an all-star, but dude, he's no Kyrie, he's no KD.
Not at all. Nowhere close now, you know, for sure. But they do have a nice team, though. I do like their, not just the KD and Kyrie, but the rest of the team. Pretty solid, I would say. Like, they have a nice little cast. You know?
For sure. Spencer Dinwiddie, they've got Caris LeVert, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris as a 3-point shooter.
Well, he has
How about the effort?
Oh, they're pretty. They're not that. Their pace is not. It's kind of like medium. Their pace is. I like their pace. That's what I like about the Nets too. Their pace is pretty good. They like the inside game is. I like how they utilize their bigs. You know.
For me, they got Jarrett Allen. Dude, the guy's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
For me, I thought they were like maybe one piece away from being a solid team. And then that piece could have been just AD by himself. But now that they got Kyrie as well, oh my goodness.
That pace is going to skyrocket.
Yeah. And look, we all saw what KD did to the Warriors. So, the Warriors were a great team without him. And then him just coming on board. And he absolutely destroyed the Cavs in the finals.
Goodness, that was sad.
Yeah,
that was
he was unconscious, man. He's shooting lights out. He was putting on a clinic in all his playoff games. Dude, even when he came back from that injury right before against the Raptors, I'm like, Mama, there goes that man. He's an absolute beast.
That boy's bad. Man. Honestly, I'm going to say it for the record, y'all. KD, better than LeBron.
Oh,
dang!
I don't know if I want to get into this conversation.
Dropping the mic.
Hey.
Oh man, like I think KD is still like underrated a little bit slightly, and that's because of the championships. And I think that's like one of the only things that that LeBron kind of has over like KD, and stat wise, LeBron James has more kind of overall better stats, you could say, but as a better player overall, KD, he has his skill set is ridiculous.
What do you think, Kathleen? Who you got, KD, LeBron, or other?
Other out of both of them, I'm gonna say LeBron. Why? Because of his impressive resume. I think
Yeah.
I'm only saying this from yesterday because I want to see LeBron smoke. No,
Wanna see
that's
LeBron
another
what?
subject. No, that's a different subject. I want to see LeBron play with the sun.
Oh yeah, with Bronny James, yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I,
it's kinda like-
I agree with you. LeBron James has a more impressive resume, but
yeah.
I'll put it to you this way, and this is gonna be such a simple argument to make. You never hear people comparing Jordan to KD.
Right. No, honestly, that is facts though. Like the resume. That's why I'm saying like the resume, the championships is like one of the few things that LeBron I would say have over KD.
Uh, for me, KD is an absolute talent. He's probably up there in all-time players, but he's an absolute assassin when it comes to scoring. But overall mentality and just kill mentality, and I would say the new school kill mentality, because it's very
Oh, there
different
we
to what
go.
Jordan had. LeBron's
Yeah.
got it because
Yeah.
he's not afraid to make the pass. And I mean, you can make the argument that Jordan wasn't afraid to make the pass. He had Steve Kerr, you know, he had game-winning plays as well where he passed it. But LeBron James has always been about that life. Obviously, he wasn't about that life when J.R. Smith didn't pass him the ball.
Yeah.
Game one.
That was a.
In Oracle
Ooh,
Arena.
man.
That really
Yeah.
sucked. But yeah.
And he got him back too. That was pretty cool. How he was like, no, joining team again. You know?
Oh yeah, I was
That's
surprised.
water under
I
the
was
bridge.
honestly surprised. I had no idea that he'd run it back with his homeboy JR
Right.
Swish.
Hey.
Oh yeah, he splashes all the time.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about it. So, okay, LeBron has the most impressive resume, but KD has a different skill set. So if you're comparing both, you have to compare them on like two different levels. So
Well, that Kathleen, exactly. Like you made a very good point, and that's a big argument with the with in basketball in general. You know, and that's why I thought too, and that's what they're thinking. The change is they're thinking there should be multiple MVPs. You know, and I honestly definitely agree to that because I don't feel like there's always
Ron
like
over there.
one player. It's hard because there's a narrative at times. You know, there's a narrative in the beginning of the year. Then there's a player that actually, it's different benefits. It's different.
They bring different stuff to the table.
Yeah, it is. You know, I don't think one top award should be given to like the one player.
How about this? How about there's no regular season MVP, just overall MVP, including the playoffs, and then you have the finals MVP, because
Yeah,
I think that because as you said, the narrative changes, and especially this year where they went into the bubble, it dramatically changed. And
oh, it did.
if you were just watching the NBA from the bubble and only the bubble onwards, then you'd, without a question, well, in my opinion, would say that everyone would say that LeBron James was the MVP.
LeBron James was a savage. He was a beast in the bubble. Like there was no question. Like he should have been the MVP in
Yeah.
the bubble. Period.
Well, he
You
was
know,
Finals
so-
MVP, so he can take that as a W.
that works.
dub.
That works.
But yeah, let's start to
You know.
wrap it up. Currently,
Okay.
what Netflix shows are you guys on?
Ooh.
Or Amazon, or in general, whatever platform you're watching on?
I know. Huh?
We were on Evil. That's what we were talking about yesterday,
yeah.
but we didn't like. I don't like it, but Kiva Thoughts loves it.
It's like one of my favorite shows now. Like one
What's
of
it
my
on?
favorite.
Netflix.
Netflix? I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's please do, Ron. It's very controversial, scientific, religious, personal, social. It has a lot of different aspects to it, but it's pretty much like good versus evil kind of ordeal, and it's like it kind of shows you the daily things that happen. You know, people think like evil is like a little red man walking around kind of ordeal, you know, but like evil is like just negativity, like influence to people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really deep. Like it's really nice, and it's not like a bad ending kind of ordeal. It's always like a revolution that happens in the episodes. You know, so yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
All right, you heard it here
Really
first,
do.
people. Check out Evil. For me, I've been on that Amazon Prime life, and
Hey.
I've been like, I just recently finished The Boys season 1 and 2, and Utopia. So that's been super crazy.
Yeah, how is Utopia? I've heard that before. I think you mentioned it on Kathleen. Like you mentioned the Utopia before.
I actually haven't.
Oh, I'm trying
So
to remember what that.
Utopia is there's some similarities with I would say Heroes, where they've got a comic book that tells the future, and so basically in this comic book, without giving too much away, it shows like diseases that have been popping up around the world, and like there's like a whole community of people who try and digest into what's coming next, and so the latest comic book dropped. And everyone was trying to get their hands on it to see what was the next virus that was gonna come in and like try and kill the world, and they find out that it's actually some evil corporation behind it, and they just go right into it from there. And instead of a cheerleader to save the world, it's Jessica Hyde. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's
Ooh,
cool.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Yeah. So it's one of my favorite TV shows at the moment. It's only one season, but it was pretty epic in my opinion.
I gotta check that out.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
And
Kathleen, what?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Kathleen. What show would you recommend? What shows?
I only recommend the Haunting of Bly Manor 100%. I really want to talk about the series as a whole because I was at work and I had an hour conversation about like everything in Haunting of Bly Manor. Like
a lot of questions.
a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm gonna spoil it.
I think it's all gonna just like be like wow, like the episode. There's gonna be an episode that's gonna be like, oh, this is all makes sense now. This is
no. Even when I watch all the episodes, I'm like, I have to talk about it.
Really?
Yes.
I actually oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Ron. Sorry.
Oh yeah, so I'm surprised that I got hooked onto Bly Manor because I thought it was a bit too slow for me at the start. But then yeah, it did get me, even though it was very repetitive. But then I never watched Haunting of Hill House. So
that's a banger.
yeah, so I just watched that last week, and man, I thought that was pretty crazy, and it was a bit more scarier. So if you're into something that will make you jump out of your seat, then yeah, for sure check out Haunting of Hill House. Albeit it's a little bit older, but I think definitely I like the characters there a lot more.
They did a great job on that, like for the scare factor of it.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I want to talk about one thing about the Hill House, though.
Okay.
Who is the ghost that follows Luke? Is that like a ghost? Like I know it's his demons inside, but like, is it another ghost too that used to haunt the Hill House back in the day?
That's why I thought. That's why I always thought it was like from the house. And it kept following.
It's like both. I don't know.
Wait,
because I think the family was like cursed kind of because they lived in the house, so all that stuff like followed them wherever they went.
Wait, sorry.
And he oh, sorry.
Sorry, which character is Luke again? I totally forgot it already.
He is the bro that's like addicted to drugs.
The bro that's.
But he's a twin.
Right. He just got to like rehab or something.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about House of Bly for a sec. Yeah. So who was the ghost that was playing him? I don't even remember. No, I can't even remember now. I literally watched it last week and I can't even remember. My bad.
Dude, that's so funny.
Weird. I think he was cursed. Like I think the family was like cursed kind of, and he.
Yeah, they're the 5 stages of grief, but there's that particular ghost look like from the 1930s or something, but it's supposed to be depression. But I'm like, is it depression and another ghost? Like,
I know. I'm about to look
because everyone who
right?
I was gonna say everyone that dies in that house stays there, but then I was like, is that a spoiler? Well, it's too late now.
No, dang. That's why, like, if I'm like into a show, I watched Haunting of Bly Manor last night again because of the way I talked about it. Like, I just want to make sense. Like, is there something I'm missing?
No, honestly, Kathleen, like it's yeah. You're not wrong about that. Like, there's a lot of questions, a lot of wonder, And I'm only on episode 4, well 5. I'm sorry, 5. And I'm just like, man, I need some answers fast.
Oh, and
I need an understanding.
Yeah, understanding.
Yeah.
Speaking of questions, do you two have any questions for me before we finish up the podcast?
Yes. How do you like your haircut because I'm feeling it.
Hey.
It's
So if you haven't already, check out my vlog. I showed myself getting a haircut for the first time in 3 months because I live in Melbourne, Victoria, and we've been on lockdown for 3 months. And as of today, actually, Wednesday, the 28th of October, restaurants and retail have opened up again. So
completely.
yeah, completely. Albeit there are rules around it, but I can go into a shop and I can go do some shopping. And yeah, so last week I got my haircut. Chief, thank you. I like it a lot. So what I did was I've got straight hair, and I wanted to do something funny. I wanted to get a perm.
You're bringing it back.
Success perm.
The success perm, yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google success perm, fresh off the bat success perm. It's not as I don't know how to style it properly. I think I left it too long, and so it's a bit too much weight, so it brings it down. If I was to cut it a little bit shorter, I feel like it would just sit at a nice level. But look at that fade, though.
Okay.
Hey, that fade's fresh.
Right? I was okay.
So, hey, I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, man, no problem. I'm a little envious. I need to get a haircut myself, so I'm like, okay.
Are you able to, or is that still closed?
Yeah, there's they have like specific times for these barbershops now. Most of them close early, and so it's hard to get like an appointment.
Actually, I've got a quick question about the barbershops there. Is it like what I see on TV, where it's a place to hang out and talk?
Definitely, for sure.
Because it ain't like that over here, bro.
Oh, it's not?
Oh,
yeah,
well,
it's like...
I go to usually like Asian ladies or whatever, right? And I feel like they're just speaking behind my back in Vietnamese or whatever language it is. Oh,
it's
honey,
like
you
the equivalency
go
to nail salon.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Kathleen,
funny.
Any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Yes.
So I watched your vlog.
Yes.
It was a vibe. It was funny. You were creative. I just want to mention the homemade mask. You're like, oh snap, I forgot my mask. I got to think of something. So this dude right here, ronnbizzy, yes, makes a mask. Like, oh wait, I have my like, I don't know, what was it?
It's so I've got one of those puffy vests, the duck down goose vests, the puffy ones.
Yeah.
And then it comes with a little bag that you can store it away into, so it's super compact. And so go ahead, Kathleen, you can tell it.
Okay, so he is like, dude, I forgot my mask, blah blah. Maybe I could like connect the bag from my jacket to my face, or wait, to your face or to your ears or to your glasses. I don't remember, something like that. And then he's like, oh wait, so he's like putting it on like the strap on his glasses, and he's like, oh wait, like it was like an aha moment for him. He's like, whoa, this could actually work.
Wait, so was it like hanging from your glasses? Like,
yeah, it was.
No.
Oh, well,
Really?
So yeah, I connected it to my glasses. There's like a kind of drawstring thing. And so when I hooked it on, I'm like, how do I tie in this? And then I was like, all right, I'll just pull on this. And I'm like, oh, it's working.
He really was. It was so hilarious. I was like, wow, we got MacGyver over here. Australian edition.
The funniest thing was, all right, so I
Yeah.
got my hair cut, and then I'm walking back to my car. I was going through my pockets to look for my parking ticket. I'm like, mother. I've got
a
my
mask?
mask in my pocket.
Dang, dude.
Hey, but about that content life though, drama's good for the vlogs. I'm telling you, there's a time and place for it.
Yeah.
That's
Especially
real,
if it's
that's...
natural, organic,
That's it. All right, guys.
non-GMO.
Everybody, plug your channels right now. Whatever projects you're currently working on. Tell the busy bees what to do.
Go get it, Kathleen.
Y'all could catch me on the SoKlene podcast. It's about relationships, life, and pop culture. You can check it out every Saturday on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And I'm also on YouTube. Check me out on Life with SoKlene. I post videos every Sunday about either fashion, beauty, lifestyle, what else? Travel, food, and of course, my podcast, related videos and content.
Yes, let's go check her out.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey.
Shout out SoKlene. All right,
Yes.
Chief, let's go.
Chief of Thought series, y'all. Instagram, Chief of Thought series. Please check it out. I try to post every Sunday. And check out my YouTube, Kashif Cornell Warren. I do have my Chief of Thought series episodes on that channel as well, and other music productions and video productions as well. Currently working on a couple of songs for some artists on the music part of it, and developing the podcast more, and kind of just finding different ideas for the next episode of Chief of Thought series.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, that's
Excited.
what's up. All right, guys, again, thank you for joining the podcast. SoKlene and Chief of Thoughts, I really appreciate you. I think from this conversation, I'm going to start working on my whole look and my whole branding. I'm going to jump on Fiverr. I'm going to get my stuff on
Hey.
Anchor so I can get my...
There we go.
I need to get my podcast on an actual podcast platform because right now it's a video
Yeah,
podcast. And I'm not doing the world justice by limiting them to only one platform. So again, thank you to the both of you for helping me out, helping the viewers out, inspiring, and having this awesome conversation about podcasting and basketball and all things House of Bly Manor. All right, it's your boy
Hey.
ronnbizzy,
man.
and we are out. Don't forget to subscribe to my friends. Definitely check them out. Don't forget to follow them on Instagrams and all their socials. I have it linked down below. All right, we out, fam. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Awesome.
Appreciate you. This has been an honor.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye, guys.